Hi, this is Annmaree. The letter X for the Be Aware Holistic Healthcare Model. And X, pretty hard to find words that start with X related to health. So I'm going to talk about xenogenesis, which is X-E-N-O and then genesis. So xenogenesis is foreign particles or substances or originating from outside the body. And when we relate it to the body, we could talk about substances that are not so healthy, like xenoestrogens that are in our environment that will affect hormones. So for male and females, particularly females, xenoestrogens are disrupting to the hormone system, and there's also other xenochemicals that are out there that are affecting cellular health, which going through the videos that I've done, we break it down through morphology with cells, tissues, organs, systems, and then the whole body. So anything that's going to affect a cell is ultimately going to affect the body if it's been allowed to proliferate and affect tissues, organs, and all the systems. So it's important to be aware, hence the name of the model. Be aware what's going on in the environment and what you place yourself in. And that doesn't mean that you have to be completely Howard Hughes scenario like it's pretty much at the moment in 2021, if you're watching it in times at the moment. You can be cautious, be aware that you're in an environment that may be not so healthy, and then when you are able to get out of it, you can do things to reboot, build your resilience, build your strength again, so that you can be strong physically. So xenoestrogens, well, they can be in the form of chemicals in our foods. Xenoestrogens can be they're particularly in the foods. We have xenochemicals that are in the air, which even the local governments are happy to acknowledge that they put chemicals in the air that will affect the body. Example, where I live in Northern Rivers, the local council's happy to admit that they're putting a substance in the air to help prevent or stop mosquitoes, which even on their website they acknowledge that the chemical is effective on the lungs in a detrimental way. So at least they're acknowledging the harm that can be done. So if you are super sensitive with your lungs, then you need to be aware of what your council is putting out into the air. There was even a paper in the local government's local community's paper where there was also a story of polluted fish in the local area as well. So we don't know what a lot of the chemicals will do long term. We certainly know that there are thousands that are used out there, and whether or not they're affecting hormones specifically or they are just foreign matter that is going to affect our body, which again, xenogenesis is the term. So that's relating to the body. Now, the xenogenesis in this model, Be Aware model, it also is associated with the mind, because even the sages, the ancient sages, they acknowledge that not all of our thoughts are our own. So our mind, through ancient traditional cultures, particularly such as the Indian and Ayurvedic, the mind extends beyond the physical. In fact, it's not the brain. The mind is far more than in the brain. The mind is within all cells and actually extends beyond. So it's not just in the mechanics or the frequency of the physical flesh that we are made of. Mind also vibrates and has frequency that extends in this, what we can't see with these physical eyes. However, when you do techniques such as yoga techniques, which I'll elaborate in the next video on why, is in the letter Y for yoga, because that also gravitates to body, mind, emotions. You will learn, more that you practice such techniques, the more you can understand that we are able to see beyond these eyes, and what I call the eyes of God, or mind. So if mind, theorize here, critical think. If you've never seen something like this or heard of it, if something extends beyond your physicality, and as is with everyone, and you walk into their, next to their space, so you are in terms within their extended physicality, which is that which you can't see, then your minds are going to interact. And the more you are aware of your being and your existence, then the more you pick up on things. People call this intuition, instinct, whatever terms you want to call it. It's really the meaning that's the greatest value, that which we can experience without our senses, 5 particular senses as a human being, which is touch, sight, sound, smell, and taste. So we have the ability to be able to pick up different things beyond these senses. Sensory control, which I'll elaborate a little bit more in yoga explanation, pratyahara. So, so the mind and our existence of thoughts within the field of our mind, which I've explained my definition in previous videos, which is the movement and stillness of thought and no thought within a field. It's the basic definition of mind with myself. And so we can experience that which is in another entity, another being, and a human being or an animal or whatever, when we're in close to their presence. And even those who have practiced and achieved such stillness that they can experience it in a large space, because we all exist within space, such as my teacher's teacher, Satya Sai Baba, who's passed over now. I remember visiting India and getting a lift with his taxi driver of 11 years. And the passenger and the taxi driver could feel the presence of Sai Baba when we were 11 miles away from his actual physical being, because they could actually experience his mind field. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to understand that we are so much more than what we see with these 2 eyes, and so much more than what we smell with our sensory of our nose, and what we taste and what we touch with our physical. So much more than that. So Xenogenesis of Thoughts is understanding that what you might be thinking or experience as a thought may not have originated from your own mind. It may have originated from someone close by or even someone distant, because when you think about it in the really big picture, we're all part of one mind. And how mind-blowing is that, to think that a scenario like what we're on now with the planet, Earth, maybe there's something going on further out, I don't really care. At the moment, I care about my home and the people I love and the existence of what we have here as planet Earth. So to realise that we're all so connected, which we are, and the sages, the ancient sages, the ancient philosophers, they all say it. To know this and know that we have the power then to shift how things are. I'm not religious. I was brought up with Catholicism, and I value all the religions' teachings as far as the ultimate aim is to which is love. And so all of those that create that thought, that element of existence, have a value and a productive reasoning for our life and that which exists as life on the planet. So understanding that when we experience a xenogenesis thought or something that's outside our possible beliefs and thought process, we have the ability to discriminate and say, no, I don't really want to cultivate that, because everything is able to be cultivated, whether it's plants or thoughts or health, healthy cells, etc., healthy emotions. Everything can be cultivated. So the ability to discriminate and say, oh, I don't really need to think more about that stuff. It's not really healthy that I think, oh, I don't really like that person, blah, blah, blah. You can just let it go. Or if you're experiencing a thought that's quite uncomfortable that you wouldn't naturally necessarily think of, like a vile, hurting a child or doing harm to a child that just wouldn't normally enter your thoughts, then you may have actually experienced the thought of someone else and been in their field. And in that case, you let it go. Everything is able to be enhanced or let go of. And it really comes down to your choice. And that's where self-responsibility comes in. So xenogenesis, foreign particles or substances or originating from outside the body or your organism, as it says in the definition in the medical dictionary. So we have it for the body, we have it for the thoughts in the mind, and then we have it in our emotions. So this is really important right now, because as so many people, wonderfully awakened people like Tim's Truth, YouTube that, and or Rumble that, and other great people who say that there is two different emotions that is being expressed on the planet right now in 2021. They are either love or fear. And I know how much fear affects the physicality and the mind and the emotions of someone. It enhances stress hormones that are long-term potential are damaging and very, very, very hard to repair when the damage has become so severely chronic, which can start with simple fear. And then the polarity, the opposite, or that which contains it but is so much more powerful, is love. And I also know how valuable love is. And love really does conquer all. Just as Corinthians 1, chapter 13, I think, or chapter 1, verse 13, however you say it in the Bible, but it's Corinthians. And it says, faith, hope, and love, and of those three, love is the greatest. And it really is so powerful. Anyone that has had perhaps lack of faith and lack of hope, if you can still cultivate love within your heart and extend that within you and beyond, then it will definitely assist in your health. So as far as the emotions go, when we're experiencing someone else's emotion, a xenogenesis state of emotion, something that's originating from outside your organism, your body, mind, emotion, then it's important to discriminate and acknowledge that and let it go if you don't want it, because it's not yours. You don't have to own it. And love rather than come from fear, because it's fear that's going to put you into a state of detrimental despair, and the love is going to carry you through pretty much most adversities, if not all. It's just time. Give it time. Have patience, or give it space, I should say. Time is merely the distance between events within space. That's my definition. So I hope this helps, and stay aware, be aware, and above all, love always. And thanks for watching. Namaste.